So, you've probably heard of Stellar, right? And it's really easy to just lump it in with all the other cryptocurrencies out there. But honestly, that completely misses the point. Today, we're going to look at Stellar as something totally different, a new kind of financial plumbing, designed to completely rewire how money moves around the globe.
To really get what Stellar is all about, let's start with a really simple but powerful question. What if sending money, I don't care if it's $5 or $50,000, was as easy, as fast, and as universal as sending an email? Think about it. No 3-day waiting periods, no crazy fees, just point, click, and it's there.
Yeah, that's the big idea. A global financial network that's lightning fast, ridiculously cheap, and open for absolutely anyone to use, not just the big banks. This isn't just about tweaking the old system. It's about a ground-up redesign. So how did this whole vision even start?
To really understand Stellar, you have to start with its mission, because the why behind it, well, that drives everything else. The technology, the partnerships, the whole strategy.
You see, the whole ecosystem is guided by this really unique group, the Stellar Development Foundation, or SDF. Now, this is not your typical tech company at all. It's a nonprofit. That means no shareholders to keep happy, no pressure to chase profits. Their entire reason for existence is just the mission.
And here it is, stated plain and simple: to create equitable access to the global financial system. What that really means is building a network for everybody, especially for the billions of people who are currently shut out of the system or get hit with insane fees just to send a little money back home to their families.
And look, the SDF isn't just saying the right things. They're putting their money where their mouth is. The foundation holds about 18.9 billion lumens. That's the network's own asset, and all of it is set aside to support and grow this ecosystem. We're talking about a massive financial commitment, all managed transparently, to turn that mission into a reality.
Okay, so we've got this really powerful mission, but how does the tech actually pull it off? How do you deliver on that promise? Let's pop the hood and take a look at the engine that makes this whole thing run.
It's actually pretty easy to break down. You can think of the core tech in 3 parts. First, you've got the speed, which comes from something called the Stellar Consensus Protocol. Second, there's the bridge to the real world, and that's handled by things called anchors. And third, you have the brains of the whole operation, a new smart contract platform called Soroban.
You know how older blockchains rely on that super slow, energy-hungry mining process to check transactions? Well, Stellar does something completely different. It uses a way more elegant and efficient method called the Stellar Consensus Protocol. It lets the network agree on and confirm transactions without all that crazy computational waste. And the results of this are, well, they're dramatic. We're talking transactions finalized in just 3 to 5 seconds. The average fee? It's not a couple bucks. It's a tiny, tiny fraction of a single cent. And because it's not mining, it's an incredibly green technology. That's a huge deal for any company that cares about its environmental impact. All right, so the network is super fast and cheap. Great. But how do you get your actual money, your dollars or euros, onto the network? That's where anchors come in. Think of them as on-ramps and off-ramps. They are regulated financial companies that issue digital versions of real currency on Stellar, all backed one-to-one. They solve that critical last-mile problem of turning digital value back into cash in your hand.
And the last piece of this engine is Soroban. This is Stellar's brand new smart contract platform. The best way to think about it is like a massive software upgrade for the whole network. It lets developers build really complex financial tools, things like automated lending or super sophisticated payroll systems, right on top of Stellar. This is what takes it from just being about simple payments into the world of truly programmable money.
Okay, a great mission and some clever tech is one thing, but the real question is anyone actually using it? Let's get into the proof, the tangible, real-world impact that Stellar is having today. And when you look at who's using it, it's pretty impressive. We're not talking about a bunch of little startups here. We're talking about global giants. You've got the asset manager Templeton, humanitarian groups like GIZ, the payment powerhouse MoneyGram, and Circle, the company behind USDC, which, as you know, is one of the biggest stablecoins in the world. Just to give you a sense of the institutional trust here, Templeton, one of the biggest asset managers on the planet, runs a tokenized money market fund on Stellar. And in early 2025, that fund's assets soared to $453 million. That is a huge vote of confidence from the heart of traditional finance.
Or how about this one? The German development agency GIZ uses Stellar for sending payroll across borders. By doing that, they saved an estimated $453,000 a month in fees. I mean, that's just a staggering amount of money saved.
And it's not just about the money either. Giz also saved over 500 hours of administrative work every single month. That really shows you how this tech can just streamline everything, freeing up people to do more important work.
But of course, Stellar isn't doing this in a bubble. To really get the full picture, we've got to put it in the competitive arena and see how it stacks up against some of the other big names out there. You know, the most common comparison you'll hear is with Ripple. And that makes sense. They actually share a co-founder. But when you look closer, their philosophies are just worlds apart. Stellar, with its nonprofit governance, is absolutely laser-focused on financial inclusion for everyday people. Ripple, on the other hand, is a for-profit company that's mainly targeting huge banks and institutional settlement.
Now let's talk about cost because, wow, the difference is just staggering. A transaction that might cost you about $2 on Ethereum or maybe 4 cents on a faster network like Solana costs just a tiny fraction of a penny on Stellar. For any business that's doing payments at scale, that difference isn't just small, it's everything.
And finally, let's talk about something called finality. That's basically the moment a transaction is locked in and can't be reversed. On Stellar, it's practically instant. We're talking seconds. On a network like Ethereum, you might be sitting around for up to 16 minutes waiting for that same guarantee. For anything financial, that speed is an absolute game changer.
So, after all that, after looking at the tech, the real-world use, the competition, it all comes back to where we started, the mission. Everything we've seen, from the super low fees and the speed to the nonprofit model and the focus on cash on-ramps, it's all designed to serve this one single guiding principle.
And that leaves us with one last thought. You know, Stellar isn't trying to be the loudest or the flashiest project out there. It seems like it's quietly building these efficient, open financial rails in the background. So the real question is, could this be the invisible, fundamental upgrade our global financial system has been waiting for all along?